Layla, where are you right now? Everyone is out looking for you right now.
Kinsey, I have realized something very important. I see that we only have one shot at life, right?
Wait, what? Did you think that we had more chances at starting a new life?
Well, if there is only one life that we can live, I should be living my life the way I want to, right?
But where are you right now, Layla?
I'm at the train station,
What train station?
close to where I've been living.
Huh? But that station is like an hour's walk away from your house. And there's only 30 minutes left until the wedding ceremony begins.
I am not getting married.
Hold on, Layla, what are you saying? Today is the day of your wedding, right? And everyone you invited are already here waiting for you to marry the groom. And after telling everyone for the longest time you were going to get married, you're not? What the hell has happened to you?
It turns out that I don't want to get married anymore. And I just want you to know that this isn't some sort of confusion on my part.
You really don't want to get married then? But if you really didn't want to, then you should have told everyone that before your big day, right? Right now, everyone is worried because we don't know where you ran off to.
Well, I plan to move away now.
My head is starting to hurt. Are you kidding me? You're going to move away now?
If I continue to live in the house I've been in, my fiance will come looking for me, right? And you, Mom, and Dad all know where I was living, so I couldn't hide. And so I've decided I'll move far away and start my life over again and live it the way I want to.
But that's just what you think would happen. Are you actually planning to do all of this today?
I know that you'd all come after me, so that's why I chose today to run while you all are busy. Now, take care of that wedding for me, could you?
What do you want me to do about your wedding? Come back here and take responsibility for your own wedding, Layla. This has nothing to do with me, right?
But you're my older sister, Kinsey.
Even though I'm your big sister, you running away from your wedding is not something I need to be responsible for. You have to come back here and apologize to your fiancé for this, okay?
Now that you bring him up, I never chose to be with him.
But you were the one that chose to ask his hand in marriage, right?
He's the guy that Mom and Dad brought to me to go out with.
You kept saying that you wanted to get married and asked them over and over again to introduce you to a good-looking man. And so Mom and Dad did exactly that for you.
But I thought they'd bring me someone a bit better looking than him. If only there was another man that I could have chosen with a bit better of a face.
Huh? I just have to ask this for my own interest. But you haven't been with any other men this whole time, right?
I don't care about him anymore, so we don't have to keep talking about this.
Hey, Layla?
I'm telling you that my fiancé looks good and all, but he's only a simple office man. And he's working in the same company as Dad, right?
I've heard he works under Dad, but...
So that means that even at his best, he'd be doing the same as Dad. I hate simple people like that. I want to become someone that has a lot of money, you know? And having to be with an office worker making the same as pretty much every other man is not going to happen to me.
So you're being that selfish again, huh? Can you stop trying to think of only yourself when it comes to things involving others? I don't care who you plan to get married to, but making other people have to go through trouble for you is not okay.
But they have you there, so you can do something to ease the pain for everyone, right?
Stop playing around, Layla. I am well aware that you are a pretty selfish woman when it comes to money and things like that. But what you're doing now is taking things way too far. You're already an adult now, okay? And when you chose to get married and chose to have a wedding, you made both those decisions yourself, right? So if you don't want to go through with all this anymore, you need to come back here and clean up the mess.
Well, I don't like having to deal with anything troubling, and all that other crap like people's feelings is just too much for me. I'll leave all that to you.
I am not going to clean up your mess. I may be your older sister, but I am not some kind of assistant to you.
But having you as my older sister go in front of everyone and say you're sorry for my actions should work out, right?
But why do I have to be the one saying sorry for your selfish actions?
Because that's what big sisters are for, right? You want to take care of your cute little sister, so you'll do anything to make sure they stay happy.
But when you cancel on a wedding with your fiancé, that's like something out of an old drama or something. Do you not see just how many problems this is going to cause for everyone here?
There will not be that many problems, Kinsey. You just have everyone start eating and drinking, and then you can all get drunk and have a laugh over this.
But you just went and left the wedding without saying a word to anyone, so you're going to have to pay for the wedding being canceled. And your fiancé is also going to want you to pay him a settlement for the trouble you've caused. And you're going to have to apologize to all the guests that came here today taking time out of their busy lives. And finally, you're going to have to tell his parents why you chose to not marry him in the end.
All right then. Why don't you take my place in the wedding?
Huh? What is wrong with you?
You and I are about the same height, although my breasts are a bit bigger. But you can fit into my dress and pull it off, I think. And you're single right now with no boyfriend or anything holding you down. This will be perfect for you. So instead of me, you can get married today.
Come back to reality right now. I am not going to be taking your place as the bride today. I don't want to get married yet, and I will not be taking over your wedding to do so.
The train's here. So I'm going to leave now. I plan to become happy again, so you go ahead and make yourself happy as well. Bye-bye.
Hold it right there, Layla. Don't even try blocking me. Layla? Mom, where are you? Dad even told me that he hasn't seen you anywhere yet.
Hi, Kinsey. Thank you.
Huh? What?
Your dad and I are leaving right now. Layla didn't end up coming to her own wedding, and so there was no reason for us to stay there, right? And so that's why we left already.
Hold on, Mom! You just left me all alone here by myself? What am I going to do now?
I'd like you to tell all the guests about how our daughter will no longer be coming to that wedding and the reason why. And whatever happens after that, I'd also like you to deal with.
You're leaving this all to me?
As well as the talks about the cost of the wedding. You can already tell that his family is getting upset, right? Try your best and get them to not think about getting a settlement from Layla, okay?
They have a right to be mad at her, though. She literally canceled on the wedding and ran away.
And I want you to be the one apologizing for that. You're good with all that stuff, right? I think you'll be able to handle everything that has to do with the money side of things as well. This has nothing to do with me or your dad, after all.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with you two? Layla is your daughter, right? And what do you mean I'm good at this stuff? I don't ever remember being really good at apologizing for other people's mistakes.
I'm saying that you've always been good at controlling other people's emotions.
Are you talking about how in the past I'd always be there to talk Layla out of getting punished and things like that?
And that made you a great big sister.
Come on, Mom. The only reason she was ever able to get away with things is because you and Dad would always spoil her. And whenever there were any problems, you'd have me come in and handle it.
Don't try and make it sound like we pushed things off on you.
But it's the truth. Whenever I was with Layla and she'd throw a ball and break the window, you'd blame me for it. And when we'd be at a friend's house and she'd damage some of their things, I'd be blamed for it. You guys always made me have to be the one to deal with all her mistakes.
And that's because you're the big sister. It's your job to take care of your little sister, right?
But you guys are making me take her place when she needs to learn herself that what she's done is wrong. But now that you've been doing that all her life, she's never learned that her actions have consequences that can hurt other people. And that's why this whole situation with her wedding has happened. She's an adult, for crying out loud.
And I can see that this time she took things a bit too far. And so, after this, we plan to punish her if she ever comes back to our house.
For the time being, can you guys come back here to help me with her fiancé's parents? If we don't apologize to them and handle this, they'll be very upset.
It should be more than enough to have you there apologizing for all of this.
Are you kidding me?
And that's why I've been asking you to take care of everything for us and that I was thankful. When you have the whole mess cleaned up, you let me and your father know.
So in other words, not only is Layla not taking responsibility for this, but neither are you and Dad?
Well, it's not our fault that Layla decided to cancel out of nowhere on her own wedding like that.
But she's your kid, and you have to take responsibility for that.
Well, she's an adult now and has a life of her own. And she moved out of our house a while back. So there's no reason for us to be responsible for her anymore.
Why are you all so irresponsible?
If you want to keep passing the responsibility around like that, maybe it's time you take it. I think that your father and I don't have to take any responsibility for what's happened today. But you do feel like someone has to be responsible, right? Well then, go ahead and take it so that this can all be dealt with.
There's no reason for me to be taking it either, though.
Well, you're the only one there from the immediate family, right? So it's all on your shoulders now. So make sure you clean it all up with nothing remaining, okay? And do not bring a single speck of trouble home with you.
You're lying, right? Mom, come on! Do not leave me here all by myself in the middle of Layla's problem!
I stopped blocking you, Kenzie. It's been so long now. How are you doing?
Layla? After leaving your wedding without telling anyone and then blocking me when you finally did respond after telling me that you were going to run away? What do you want from me?
Really? You're still upset over all of that? A woman that can't let go of the past is scary.
If you don't have anything for me, can we be done here? I'm working right now anyway.
You're still living with Mom and Dad, right?
Ever since I got out of college, I've been living there. What about it?
I knew it. Let me guess, you're also still single. If you keep living with them, you're going to stay single forever.
So did you unblock me just to tell me something like that?
Actually, I'm thinking of coming back home.
What? You're coming home now? What are you talking about?
I had a lot of things going on for the past 3 years, Kinsey. But I think that I'm done with all of them and plan to come back and live with Mom and Dad.
Wait! I have a lot of things I'd like to say as well then. Are you actually saying you want to come back here? It's because of you that I had to deal with a lot of bullcrap.
If you're talking about that wedding, that's in the past now.
Well, after realizing that you had canceled on the wedding, both Mom and Dad left back to the house as well. And they left me there to clean up your mess.
And?
I had to apologize to every single person there, and that day has gone down as the worst in my life. I had to literally go up to the parents of your fiancé and ask them to forgive you and our family over and over again with all my will.
Great job, Kenzie! Thank you so much for being there for me.
Before I get any thanks from you, I'd like an apology.
I understand that you had all of that happen to you, but I have a new fiancé and I want to come back home to get married.
Don't you dare forget about what happened to me. And you have another fiancé now? You're not on your own right now?
Nope. And he told me that it'd be okay if I lived with Mom and Dad, so I thought I'd be nice and give him the chance to live with Mom, Dad, and myself at their house. And so I'd like you to get out of there.
What?
If you're still living there, you're getting in the way, right? And I plan to make your current room into the room him and I can start making love in. So the parasite still living in their parents' house needs to get out.
Well, that house isn't there anymore, though.
Huh? Yeah, there's no way that could be possible.
It's because of you that it went bye-bye.
Because of me? What are you going on about?
We had to sell it 3 years ago. Look, you canceled last minute on your own wedding, right? We had to pay for all the wedding and for the settlement your then fiancé had asked for, and we didn't have the money for that. And so Mom and Dad sold the house and used that money to pay them.
Hold on a second. I left you to handle everything for me, didn't I?
Well, those people didn't just want me to apologize to them. They also asked that I pay for all of the wedding and for the settlement. And because it was your wedding that you dipped out on last second, your fiancé's parents were so upset with me that they would not let me leave without promising to give them the money they asked for. They were at the point that I feared for my life, that someone might kill me.
Well, maybe you should have been a bit more kind to them.
Realize that they aren't only pissed at me for what happened, and they are also pissed at Mom and Dad.
What do you mean?
You pushed all your responsibilities on me and ran, and then Mom and Dad left the wedding with no such thing as a single apology to his family. And when his parents learned that I was the only one trying to save our family, they lost all faith in our parents and you. But luckily, in the end of things, they saw that since I stayed and took the responsibility that was not mine, they forgave me. They told me that I didn't have to be the one to pay them for the money they asked for.
So you're saying that Mom and Dad took care of all of it?
Well, it should have been you paying, but since you were a little dog about it, Mom and Dad had to. And ever since that day, I have not felt any remorse for Mom and Dad and feel no need to care for them. And I left their home as soon as I could.
Then you lied to me and you're not actually with them anymore.
Well, back when I was going to college, I was able to save a little bit of money by living with Mom and Dad. And then even after that, I continued to stay with them to save up a lot of my own money.
What?
And I had planned to give them some money back for helping pay my tuition. But I also had a scholarship that helped pay for most of my schooling, and so I was able to pay them back through chores around the house since it wasn't that much. However, when you had canceled on your wedding, I made sure to pay them whatever remained with that money I'd saved up and got right out of their house.
And where are you living at now?
In a penthouse, but that's all I'm saying.
A penthouse? Why the heck are you able to live in a penthouse right now?
Because I'm a married woman, and my husband is a business owner. And so I moved into the penthouse that he had been living in alone while he was single.
Wait, you're lying, right? Why are you able to have such an amazing life now with a husband who has all that money?
Well, anyway, that's the reason there's no more home left for you to go back to. And so you can't come back. When I was leaving the house, Mom told me that I was disowned for leaving them to take care of their mess. And since then, I haven't gotten a single message from either Mom or Dad. So I have no clue where they are or what they're doing at this moment.
Then where should I go now? I'm going to be having a baby soon.
You're going to give birth? Are you actually pregnant right now, Layla?
Yeah, I did become pregnant, and since I'll be needing money and support, I thought I'd go back to Mom and Dad's house to live. And I thought that Mom and Dad would be happy to have me back and all.
Well, this has nothing to do with me then. If you happen to have their numbers still, why not try giving them a call? However, I don't think they're going to help you paint a happy life for yourself.
Hey, Kenzie. Since when have you become married? And when did your husband turn out to be a business owner, allowing you to live in a penthouse?
You disowned me, so I thought that meant we had cut ties, right? Why are you trying to talk to me now? Did you actually want to know that I was getting married back then?
I want to talk about how your husband has money right now. What penthouse are you guys living in? If you happen to have another room in that penthouse, then your dad and I are going to be living there shortly. Do you have kids yet? If you do, then you can leave them in my care while you go out.
If you're looking for a grandbaby, it would be in Layla's belly. So go help care for hers, okay? She is your favorite daughter, after all.
That girl is trying to get us to give her money right now. And when she told us about getting married, she also said her fiancé is jobless. If she doesn't have the money, she should get a job or something. Do something with her life, right? I don't want her coming to us for money right now.
Well, she did say she wanted to become wealthy, didn't she? Guess she never could make it that high. Well, I guess I knew that with the way she acted, nobody with money would be looking to marry her.
Compared to a parasitic daughter asking for money, we'd rather have the daughter that's doing well with her wealthy husband. You know that ever since we had to sell the house, things have been tough for us, right? You also know about how the man that Layla was supposed to marry worked under your dad, right? Because of that, work became difficult for your dad, and right now he's no longer working there. I can't deal with living in this cheap and raggedy apartment anymore, you know? I'd love to see what it's like to live in a penthouse.
Well, I plan to stay as far away as I can from you guys. And so I'd like you guys to no longer talk to me after this.
What are you saying, Kenzie? You want to live with your mom and dad, right? Right. You were home with us that whole time after you graduated, right?
That was because we promised to do that so that I could pay you back for paying my tuition. And I've paid you back for all of it, right?
But ever since you've left us, you've been so cold.
But that might have to do with you and Dad leaving me at Layla's wedding to clean up all the mess for you three.
But when our life began to go downhill, nobody came to help us.
Well, you both and Layla used me so often to take care of all your guys' troubles that when the day came you actually needed help, I was all used up. I am not your scapegoat, okay? I had had enough of your problems and made sure that the next time you needed me, you took the time to deal with your own problems.
I feel so sorry for spoiling Layla so much instead of spoiling you as well. And so I want to apologize to you for all of that. So, please tell us your address. I want to see your husband as well. And since he has his own company and all, he should be able to support your dad and I as well, right? Right, Kinsey? Kenzie, tell us your address. I am not allowed to go back to Mom and Dad, so I'll be coming to live with you.
Nope.
But your little sister is in trouble again.
Why not try living on your own then? Perhaps even go and care for Mom and Dad now that they're in trouble as well. I am a wife to a loving husband and family now. I have no need to be around you guys.
But you told me that Mom had taken care of paying for the wedding and settlement, right? If I'd known you were telling the truth, then I would have never bothered calling them again.
Well, they had to pay for something you should have managed. I'm guessing they want you to pay them back now for all of that, right?
I don't have that kind of money on me. And I have a baby that I need to give birth to. Aren't they being rude? And when I told them about you, they just hung up on me.
Well, just a bit ago, I was talking with Mom.
Those two are the worst parents. If they need me to care for them in the future, I will definitely not. They never bother to help me when I need them most, so this is what they'll get. That's why I'll come to live with you now.
Well, when you were in trouble, you took all that trouble and pushed it onto me. And then you just disappeared forever, leaving me with all the people that were really hurt by you to try and say I was sorry to them. Because of that, I am no longer your sister.
Stop that! Hold on a sec. Don't tell me you're not my sister. If I don't have you anymore, who am I going to go to with my needs?
You have that fiancé of yours and a kid on the way. You can ask them to help you. You have to be ready for when your baby arrives, right?
Help me, Kinsey. Your cute little sister is in trouble right now. I have always thanked you for helping me out.
I'm sorry, but I have never liked having to deal with your responsibilities that you pushed onto me. And even though you're an adult now, you still haven't learned that there are consequences for your actions and that you must deal with them instead of having me do it for you.
Wait, Kinsey, I'm asking you, please.
I think it's my turn to block you. According to what friends and distant family have told me, Layla has been battling Mom and Dad about the money she owes them after they covered for her. They all don't have any money right now, and it seems none of them would like to get a job. They made a truce to all live together and work with whatever money they had to survive, and it seems that the whole conversation about having Layla pay them back has vanished. And recently, it seems the three of them have been going around asking family and friends to lend them some money. But because everyone has heard the stories of what happened, they haven't received a thing.
I feel so bad for your parents. Having to still care for their daughter even though she's well into being an adult now. At least start doing the chores or something there, Stacy.
Huh? You're saying all those things about me?
That's right. The high school dropout, stay-at-home loser should be the one to do the chores for them. You're old enough now where you definitely should not still be relying on your parents. I can't believe you're not embarrassed to live like you are now.
Calling me a high school dropout stay-at-home loser is pretty mean, Amanda. I get that I did in fact drop out, but I'm working a full-time job now, so I wouldn't be calling me a loser or anything like that.
I don't want to see you being treated by both your parents at their house any longer. You chose to live the life of a dropout, right? Yet all I hear are excuses and complaints that you can't find a good job because you have no education. Some people call the life you have getting what you asked for.
Amanda? For some reason, I get the feeling that you may be confused by something. I never chose to drop out of school myself. My parents told me to stop going to high school, and so I had no other choice but to leave. But even with that happening to me, I've worked hard to find a job that suits me.
Stop lying to me like some kind of politician. I already know the real you after everything I've heard from your parents.
Huh?
They said that you hated to study and learn, so you chose to drop out on your own. And they followed up by telling me that you don't even work a full-time job, rather just some simple part-time job making barely anything. They even said that you jump jobs a lot, leaving you sitting at home between jobs as their little stay-at-home loser. You must really love being a parasite, sucking on all that wealth that both your parents have, huh?
What are you talking about? You're saying that my parents said all of that about me?
They sure did. They are very worried about what'll happen to you after they've both passed away. And so they came to me crying to ask me what they should do about you. I never thought there were people in this world that were completely fine with making their parents suffer.
You have it all wrong, though, Amanda. Can you give me a chance to tell you my side of things?
I don't see any point in listening to some dropout speak to me. I hate low-life scum like you, Stacy. If you plan to keep living life without actually working for your own money, then I'm going to have to cut all ties I have with you.
What? I don't want my little brother and you to cut ties with me, though.
Well, I don't want my future to be ruined by you if you happen to start leeching off of me. If you don't want us to leave you, then it's time you go out and make a living yourself.
Hey, Mom! What if you made Amanda start thinking of me? Did you make her think that I was the one that chose to drop out of high school? And you made her think that I had no job and am some kind of a parasite? I can't believe you'd start telling so many lies to my sister-in-law for no good reason. Because I just got some nasty texts from Amanda about how upset she is with me. She told me to get a grip and to stop taking advantage of the two of you. But in reality, I'm working a great job, and if anything, I'm the one helping you both out the most. I'm the one that's literally supporting you and Dad right now, so what the hell is going on right now with all of you?
Oh, stop that. You don't have to be that upset with us. Your father and I both have to maintain an image ourselves, and so we had no other choice.
Huh?
You understand that we have to keep a good image as parents for others to see, right? And your little brother is married to a woman whose parents are both very high-class doctors. So your father and I would never tell her that our company had gone bankrupt a while back.
You really are such a vain person, Mom. You've always been trying to keep your reputation as the wife of some CEO even after his company fell apart. Most people already know that his company went bankrupt, yet you keep trying to hide it for some reason?
We are doing this for your brother as well, though. Having a wife that's family is full of amazing people while the husband's family is full of failures. If they were to find out about that, they would leave your brother in an instant. I'm hiding the truth from them for your brother's sake, as well as for our own.
I get what you're trying to say to me, but don't treat me like an idiot, okay? I know that you're just trying to maintain your guys' pride is all. It was your guys' fault, after all, that I had to drop out of high school, right? Yet somehow you thought it okay to say that it was all my own choice.
Are you trying to say it was our fault?
While the company was going under, you guys went and started to take all the money that was saved up for me to go to college. And because of that, there was no reason for me to continue on with school, especially when you both kept pulling me out of class to come home and help you both.
What are you talking about? That's just you saying that you gave up on staying in school. You still had the chance to do well in school and get a scholarship to go to college with.
And I would have tried my best to get a full-ride scholarship or something to a school of my choice. But you kept telling me that as a woman, I didn't need an education. You both told me that every day while asking me to leave school over and over again to come home and help you guys with that failing business. You would even get frustrated with me and start saying things like me valuing myself more than my own family. I had no choice but to drop out of school after constantly hearing that from the two of you.
Oh, we said things like that to you, did we? I don't remember saying anything like that, though.
In the end, I did as you both had asked of me and dropped out of high school. And then after Dad said I could work in his company to help it recover, he started paying me less than minimum wage. Really, I was better off finding a job of my own instead of wasting my time working for practically nothing.
Don't say such awful things like that, Stacy. We made sure that by having you work in the real world early, you'd become an even better employee than others your age. And besides, you were still living with us while working, so there was no need for you to get the same pay as others, as you didn't have to pay any living costs.
And that's why I saved whatever I could that I received and tried to get out of the house. Right when I was about to leave the house and find a job of my own to live on, you both fumbled the ball and let the company go under. Then you and Dad came running to me, crying and asking me to come home and help you guys out.
Well, that was a very tough time for all of us. We had tried our hardest to make things work in that company, but ended up still falling short in some places. And that all happened right when your brother was going to university. If it wasn't for you and the money you brought to us, we would have never been able to raise our boy well enough.
If you're trying to make it seem like you're thankful for me, why are you wrapping it in a bunch of bullcrap? You know that I've been the one supporting you and Dad ever since your company went bankrupt, so why can't you just be thankful for me and speak the truth?
Come on, Stacy. I want to say the truth, but we have to do this for your brother. We cannot allow your brother to look bad compared to his lovely wife, Amanda. If they knew that his parents weren't well off, they'd leave him in the dust. So please, be a good little girl and follow along in our lives to make your father and I look good.
What?
I'm thankful for you in the bottom of my heart. But when we are with Amanda, you are going to be that no-good high school dropout stay-at-home loser that we want her to believe you are. Stacy, I just made sure to put all of your things outside the house for you. Come here at some point today and get rid of all of it, okay? From now on, you're no longer going to be living here. Huh.
Wait, what? Why can't I live at my parents' house anymore?
Because I can't look at your poor parents any longer as they struggle to take care of you. And so, from now on, your brother and I are going to move in with your parents. So, we have to make sure that the high school dropout stay-at-home loser is out of this.
Excuse me?
I made sure to give you a warning a few weeks ago, right? I told you to get a grip and find a good job for yourself. And that you should stop causing your parents any more trouble than you already have. Yet you didn't listen to me at all, and have not found yourself any kind of proper work yet, just as I expected from a parasite. And so, we had to do something about you.
You're kidding me, right? So you've gone ahead and put all my things out in front of the house without asking first? Having to leave that house without any warning?
Your parents are so happy right now. Having the parasitic dropout out of their house has brought them all kinds of joy.
What?
And on top of that, their very successful son and his wife will be living together with them. I can't blame them for being so happy after finally having such a heavy weight lifted off their backs. Your brother works for a very good company, and I'm able to live perfectly as his housewife for the rest of my life.
You all really can only think about yourselves and nothing else then, huh? I've also told you plenty of times, Amanda, but I am seriously working a very good job right now. I even have the money to take care of that whole household without issue. Yet after everything I've done, I'm actually going to be kicked out of my own parents' home?
Come on now, Stacy, and stop with all that lying. I've never heard of any high school dropout getting a good enough job with any company. Trying to make yourself look good now by lying about some magical job that you don't have? Oh, this will only make things hurt worse for you.
I guess you really never will be able to listen to what I've had to say. I do think my parents are the worst for getting you to believe such lies, but you not even giving me the chance to explain everything to you is just insane.
I told you there's no point in me listening to whatever a dropout has to say about me. If I were to listen to you, my ears might just melt right off my head.
Excuse me?
Both of my parents are amazing doctors, and I'm their very well-off daughter. And since I have a husband now with a very good career, I cannot be bothered to be around some loser like you.
I see. No matter what I try and say, to you, I'm just a stupid high school dropout. And that's why you won't listen or give me a chance.
An embarrassment like you only has one job now, and that's to get lost. From now on, your very busy business-owning mom and dad will be taking care of your brother and I. Huh.
Good luck with my jobless parents, then.
Uh-huh.
I have a lot to be upset about right now, but honestly, I'm relieved to be getting kicked out of that house. I'm finally set free from those two extremely selfish, unemployed parents of mine. Amanda, do your best with taking care of those two for me, okay? They really don't have anything to offer now that their company has been gone for years, but since you and my brother will be living with them now, I don't have to worry.
Their company is gone? Oh, wait, what do you mean they're jobless? His parents still have a company, right? I never heard anything about their company going bankrupt or anything.
That's because they worked really hard to hide that fact from you. So of course you wouldn't hear about any of it.
Wait, what do you mean they worked hard to hide it from me?
In reality, the both of them lost that company years ago. They had a hard time keeping that company afloat, and after a lot of near misses, they finally lost the company. And so right now, they've both been living each day pretty well thanks to the money I bring in. I've been the sole provider for those two this whole time, Amanda.
Huh? That cannot be real. Do you actually think I'd believe you telling me that their company went bankrupt when I've never heard a thing about this from them before?
Well, of course you won't, especially since my mom has been lying to you about it for a while now. So there's no way you could believe me right now.
And also, you're still a high school dropout, right? There's no way someone as low as you could ever take care of your parents as well as you make it seem. There's no way an idiot with no education could ever support two people on their own.
I didn't drop out of high school because I hated studying, you know. Because of my parents both being failures and crying to me all the time, I had to stop going.
Your parents' fault then?
Right when I was getting into my junior year, their company was in hot water. And out of nowhere, they took the money that had been saved up for me to go to college and put it into their company to keep it from going under. And so because of that, there was little hope of me going on, of course, with the addition of them both constantly asking me to help them. I just wasn't able to manage myself anymore and had to give in to their nonstop begging. But as for my brother, they told me that he needs to go to a good university since he's a man. And that's why he was able to get a college degree and all of that.
Wait, really?
And for me, I was left trying my best to help out in whatever way I could with my parents' company. Luckily, even though I wasn't earning much for helping them, I learned a lot about running a business and was able to start my own smaller company. So thankfully, I'm now able to make around $200,000 a year off of it.
$200,000. Yo, you're able to bring in that kind of money? Wait, I didn't even know that you had a whole company of your own now.
Well, I tried my best to explain all of that to you before. I said that I was working a good job. And I asked you to just listen to me over and over again, right?
Ugh.
But you chose to only believe in my mom's word without ever giving me a chance. And you had the idea that because I was a dropout, I couldn't amount to anything. But because of your blind faith in her, I was finally able to get out of their house, and I am so happy for it. I was getting very tired of having to give my time to the two of them.
Wait. You can't possibly be saying that, we'll be able to care for them. Having to live in the same house as two unemployed losers is not something I can do. They'll be the downfall of me, and I'll never be able to have my own life. I'm no longer going to live here with them. There's no way I'm living with people that have no money.
Oh?
I thought living with them would mean more money for me. Honestly, I had assumed that they'd pay for everything I wanted and needed. But that'll never happen now that they don't have a company to bring money in with. There's no merit to me living with them anymore now.
Amanda? You had been wanting to live with my parents so that they'd pay for all of your wants and needs? Even though they'd already be letting you live in the house with them?
What do you want? What's wrong with me having them pay for everything I need and want? Isn't it normal to have your parents paying for you when you're living with them? And I could use the money to help out my parents with their life right now. What's so wrong with that?
What? Your parents need help with their lives now too? Those two are doctors, right? So they should be bringing in a large amount of money for themselves. I have never heard of a doctor that doesn't make enough money to support themselves.
Huh?
Could this mean that your parents aren't actually doctors? There's no reason that you would have lied to all of us about that, right? I'm sure you and your parents are different from my selfish and self-centered ones.
Hey, how did you guess that? How did you come to the conclusion that my parents aren't doctors? How did you figure out that I've been lying to you? Are you some kind of investigator or something?
What? They aren't actually doctors then, so you have been lying to us all.
No, wait, that wasn't a lie. Wait, hold on, I never said they were real doctors, did I?
Can you calm down a little and clearly explain yourself? What was a lie and what was the truth? And can you tell me why you lied in the first place?
Well, because your brother told me that his parents both ran a company of their own. And since your dad was technically a CEO, I had no choice but to lie about my parents. I didn't want him to think poorly of me, so I accidentally started telling him that my parents were both doctors. But in reality, those two just work part-time at the supermarket.
Oh.
If he found out that they both were part-timers at the supermarket, I thought he'd give up on me and your parents would tell me I can't marry him. So that's why I kept my family a secret so that I could be married. But for a while now, I've been getting an allowance from the both of my parents to make it seem like they are rich. Around $500 a month to keep everyone from knowing the truth about them.
So you have really made your life tough on yourself. After lying about both of your parents and then having them pay you money every month to keep up the ruse?
That's why for a little while I kept the truth hidden and received some money from the two of them. But now they want me to repay them for that, and the amount they want to receive from me is huge. And since I can't keep paying them back as much as they've been asking, I planned on living with your parents to get some money from them. I wouldn't have to pay for living expenses, and they would even be able to hand my parents the money they need.
And so that's your reason for kicking out some dropout stay-at-home loser? You made it seem as though you were being a saint and saving my parents the trouble of having to deal with me, when really you just wanted to become the parasite that feeds off them.
But I never thought that your parents would be unemployed. I just hoped that I could at least get a little money from the both of them for living with them. What is wrong with the both of your parents? They hid all of that from me! They're the worst!
So you're saying that about them? You yourself lied about your parents so that you could get married to my brother and make it this far with him.
Well, I can be forgiven for my lies because they were necessary. I just needed to lie so that I'd be able to marry your brother. It was just a harmless lie, unlike the ones your parents have told.
No matter what the reason is a lie. But isn't this all great? Both of your guys' parents have been having trouble with money, so you don't have to worry about one's parents being better than the others. Now you can all relax and live together as a happy family. So as for caring for both my parents in that house, please and thank you.
Come back home, Stacy. I never thought that Amanda would have been the one to lie to all of us. What was she telling us when she said her parents were doctors? All they are, two part-time losers. I'm gonna have her divorce my son right now.
What? You're making her leave the family?
Of course I am. She lied to everyone about who her parents really were. But by doing that, we'll only be left with your brother in this house. And with the work he does and the money he makes, we won't have enough to live in this house. So that's why you need to come back to our house and help us.
No, he should be able to help you better than me, right? He was the one that went to an amazing university and got into a really nice company that pays him so well, right? He should be more than able to support you all with the money he makes.
Well, he's making less than we had all been led to believe. We thought he'd at least be making $100,000 a year at that company with the education he has. But he's only making a measly $50,000 for all three of us to try and live on.
Well, he only just started working there, so it makes sense he's not that high up yet. If anything, he's making just enough at his age with the education he has.
But with that kind of money, your father and I can't live our lives freely. When we had you, you'd give us $50,000 a year to spend on what all we wanted. But he said he can't do the same for us. He said if he works really hard, he could do $1,000 a month, but that's not enough.
Well, that's because you and Dad aren't economizing. Even though you lost that company years ago, you and Dad still live like you can both afford anything and do whatever you like. That's the whole reason I had to give you that $50,000 a year, is because you guys continued that costly lifestyle.
Hey, please, Stacy. Just come back to this house and bring everything back to the way it was. I'll apologize to you for everything that happened as long as you come back here.
Absolutely not. I am not going to ever give you guys any of my money ever again.
What?
And before you continue to think about trying to get me to come back, you might want to work on gathering all your things and getting out of there. Now that I'm not living there, I'm having the house sold.
Huh? You're gonna sell this house?
Did you forget about that? I'm the one that owns that house. When you both lost the company, the bank was going to take the house and everything as well, so I stepped in and bought the house from you.
Huh?
And I've paid off the rest of the house now, so I'm free to sell it. So you and Dad and everyone need to get out.
Yo, you're lying, right? Wait! You're going to sell this wonderful house that we've all lived in?
Well, if you had never thrown me out of the house, then this wouldn't have to be happening. But now that I've seen how you guys act, I have to do even the most heartbreaking of things. Along with this, I plan to cut ties to you all as well. And anything that has traces of you guys on it is going to be sold, like the house. I want to completely forget about you all and start a new life for myself.
What?
No matter what you have to say, it's too late. So I'll give you until the end of the week, okay? If you don't leave by then, expect the police or someone to come pick you all up. Immediately after that, my brother and Amanda got a divorce. And in Amanda's case, she had to go back to her parents, who were pissed that she got a divorce. And so they told her to find a job and start making all the money that she needs to pay them back for what they'd done for her. But in her selfish and stupid fashion, Amanda told them to shut up and that if only they had real jobs, she wouldn't have been divorced. And so right now, the three of them are living together in her parents' house while she tries her hardest to make whatever money she can. In my parents' case, they are still with my brother at a smaller house, relying on him to care for them. But unlike how things were when they got to have me taking care of them, my brother is a lot more straightforward and is asking them to find some kind of work to start making a little extra money. He then told them that if they don't, he'll have no choice but to kick them out. And because of that, both my parents are now working their hardest to find some kind of employment. But of course, this hasn't all happened without my mom texting me constantly to have me come back and help them. But every single time, I leave her texts on read and completely ignore her.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.